if you're anything like me in the process of researching and buying a bike, this is probably about the 12th review that you've watched on this bike, if I had to guess. I could go back over and talk about the same features. I could talk about all the specs again. I could tell you what makes this bike fast. I could tell you about the Brembo front brakes. I could tell you about so many things. But with this review, I kind of want to take more the approach of you know everything about all the bikes that you've narrowed it down to. You've researched them a ton, and now you're trying to pick which one. Which one should I buy? It doesn't always come down to statistics or the engine. Sometimes it just comes down to you gotta weigh out the pros and cons and you gotta pick one. I've owned this bike for over a month now and I still struggle to come up with cons for buying this bike. I mean, a month isn't a huge amount of time, but this bike has been treating me really well so far. So I'm gonna give you my 3 reasons why you should pick this bike over the competition. My first reason is the first thing that jumped out at me, the first thing that made me go and research and learn about this bike after the first time I saw it, and you can probably guess what that is. It's the looks. The styling on this bike, in my opinion, is next level. It makes this look like a high dollar, big, fast bike. You got carbon fiber accents all over. You have these wings, which are so aggressive. I love them. Now there's 2 colors. Now color comes completely down to preference, so I'm not even gonna mention it. You can see the one I picked. They're both beautiful bikes. I think they both look amazing. Personally, I like the darker color scheme, so I went with that. CFMOTO did a lot of things right with this bike, but one thing they really, really did right was the styling, because they just set a new standard with this bike, in my opinion. So we talked about style. That was the biggest factor that drew me into this bike. The second biggest one would have to be the price, and not just the price, but the value you get for the price. Just the infotainment system alone was a huge step ahead of the competition. And it just felt so much more valuable seeing what you have here. The thing about this bike though, not only does it feel like it gives you more value, it looks like it gives you more value. This bike looks so much more expensive than it is, in my opinion. It turns heads like crazy. I've had people walk across parking lots to talk to me about it because they heard me drive by and they were like, what is that? I've had one guy, he told me it sounded like a Ducati, but he had no idea what it was because it looked so much different. So he came over and was talking to me about it for a while. If we're gonna be realistic, you're not gonna be turning heads on a Ninja 400. It's been around too long. People have seen it. Everybody knows what it is. It's just not gonna turn heads like this bike does, because with this bike, nobody knows what it is. And obviously that's not gonna stay that way forever. If it does stay that way forever, then people are really missing out, because this is a great bike. I was lucky enough to get this right at the beginning. I was the first person in my whole state to have one of these bikes, which for me was a huge bonus because I love the rarity factor. So just looking at the main screen here real quick, the headlights will always be on. These turn off once you start the actual engine. Your gear indicator over here, temperature, time, you can set these two to whatever you want. I have my odometer and my fuel tank range. You can change that to different trip if you want, and the bottom one, you can see a bunch of different info like your consumption, average speed, trip time, things like that. Fuel gauge on the side, temperature gauge here, you have your RPMs and a digital speed. This is your little kickstand indicator, so when it's down, you'll see that little indicator there. Now let's go into the menu. And again, this is all controlled from the buttons on your handlebars. It's not touchscreen. We have navigation. You have to put in the address and everything on the app on your phone, but it will come up turn by turn on your bike. I've used it a couple times. Most of the time I'm driving where I know where I'm at, so I haven't had to use it much, but it is there. It is definitely helpful. You can just make a call right from your handlebars if you have a Bluetooth system in your helmet, which is so nice. Here you can also control your music, vehicle information. I'll just go through all the menu options just so you can see. It gives you so much information. Gives you any warnings, nothing right now, which is good news. It'll tell you the distance to your next servicing and your software information. And then we have settings here. We do have 2 different styles. Concision is actually the default, but I personally like the classic look a little bit better. You can change your units, all that good stuff. connection. This is where you set up your phone and helmet Bluetooth. You can adjust brightness. You have to come in here to reset your trip. You can set an overspeed alarm, time settings, gear change reminder. You can set that wherever you like. I still have this set there because I just recently got out of the break-in period. I was trying to keep it below 6,000 RPMs. Language, and then reset all settings. So that's just a quick look at what this infotainment system has to offer on this bike. You can see here this battery and connection bars, that's actually my phone because I have my phone connected via Bluetooth. So it'll tell you your phone battery and service quality as well, which is super nice. You can always keep an eye on that while you're riding. And a lot of bikers will mount their phone here. With all the information this has to offer, I don't even feel the need to mount my phone here because I have all the info I could possibly need right here. I can make phone calls, I can control my music. I don't even need to mount my phone here anymore. I think they did an incredible job with this. I think it's about time the infotainment system on bikes is updated, and I think they really set the standard for what it should be. And I hope that their competitors take note. I hope there's a big update coming with all the bike infotainment systems because I think they've been seriously lacking. So I was gonna go through and show you guys the app as well, like scroll through and show you guys everything that it has in there. But I think instead I'm just gonna tell you my favorite features. One of my favorite features of the app is that anytime it's parked anywhere and somebody touches it, it will send a notification to your phone. It's called a vibration reminder. And if there's any movement while it's parked, you'll get a notification. So that is really cool. I love that feature. Also, it has a tracker on there in the app. You can see where it is at all times. You don't have to be nearby. It will save all your info from every ride you take without you having to do anything. You don't have to go in there and be like, I want to save this ride. It'll do it automatically every single ride. It'll tell you the address of where you start and where you stop, as well as all the info you could possibly want during the ride, like fuel consumption, time, how many fast accelerations, how many fast decelerations. It'll tell you everything. It's amazing. The app is so great for this bike. Those are some of the features that the app has that I thought were most helpful and just really added a lot to the whole package. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And again, I kept this video short and sweet. I kind of wanted to bring up a certain key points of, why you should buy this bike. But if there was other things that you wanted to know about this bike that I didn't cover, feel free to leave a comment. I can always make another video. I'm always looking for new content to make. So yeah, feel free to let me know. And if not, I will see you guys in the next video.